Hey everybody, Drake here.
And Bone. 2 hoodies and 3 cats.
That's it. So,
Yeah, big news. Big shakings in the political world.
yeah, this last, I guess, what day was it? Was it Saturday?
It was Saturday.
Saturday, I'm sitting here, we got stuff going on off and on all day, and I'm oblivious to half the world that day. And I come home and Bone texts me, he's like, they tried to kill Trump, they shot him. And I'm like, shut up. I was like, shut up. Because we had talked about this a long time ago. I'm like, I think the only way that I could see it getting to the point where they try to kill the man.
Yeah.
And so Bone apparently has already seen this. This is Tom MacDonald, You Missed.
Yeah, because when I was gonna watch that rally live, I saw a notification for it and I almost clicked on it. I was like, no, I got this other stuff to do, so I didn't watch it. And so my wife is looking at stuff on her phone. She's like, hey, and I was like, no way. And so I went and immediately looked it up. And so I've been on every news site that's talking about this. Everyone's posting videos about it. I've been on Twitter, at YouTube, Facebook, just looking at everything. And this popped up, and I thought, man, this is very timely.
So he released a new video on Friday called Heroes, which was in the process of going viral. It has 2.5 million views. He released this the day of the shooting, I guess.
Yes.
Like, he going on and just did it. Like, that's how amazing him and his girl are at editing and doing stuff. And this is already beat the video, is already ahead of the video from Friday. So I have no idea if it's music. I don't know, but I was like, it's Tom, and it's like You Missed.
It's very poignant.
I could not. So we're going to, Hangover Gang and anybody else, first off, I got to say this. I felt really great about a few people I work with because a few people have posted things that said, I don't care what your political views are. If you are upset because they missed or he didn't die, it's not a political problem. It's a heart problem, and you can unfriend me. And I don't care what your political views are. They can be whatever you want them to be. But the answer is never kill your opponent. It can't be the answer. If we can't, the problem is the war starts when you can't communicate anymore.
Right. It's a breakdown of communication.
So if you're trying to kill your opponent or someone that feels a different way, then you have totally lost the whole idea behind politics and trying to convince one side that your side is right, and then you're not going to do that by killing people.
Right.
So anyway.
Yeah, and so no matter who it is,
Yeah.
murder is never the answer.
No, never. And
In my opinion.
I'm glad he lived. I'm really sorry about the firefighter that died protecting his family.
I'll tell you.
There's somebody else that was injured.
There was 2 other ones. I don't know if the names have been released.
They have not. There's just the one man and Trump and then the shooter. But anyway, let's
So
get
I
into
think
this.
there were 2 other people that were injured.
Yeah, I think. All right, you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
They burning the country down with their progressiveness. It started with changing what gender is, then graduated to your racist if you think that your life matters and your skin don't have melanin. They don't want peace, they want skeletons. They want men to pretend that they're feminine. They don't want an election, they got so offended by freedom that they just try killing the president. I used to think that the woke were misguided, but now I can see that they're evil. Twitter is angry that Trump isn't dead. You know who got shot? Innocent people. Thought y'all were tolerant, thought we were equals. I thought you valued how everyone feels. Then why are y'all celebrating an attempted assassination like you're part of Antifa? Thank God the left can't aim. Thank God the right don't riot. Welcome to the home of the brave. Freedom ain't afraid of violence. You wish you was dead.
Did you hear the little glitch?
That
Glitches
little-
at the beginning?
Yeah.
I think that's intentional.
It
I
is.
think it's supposed to be like a glitch in the Matrix. Like, here comes the glitch.
That was crazy. It's hard to have any humor involved in this situation.
Oh, yeah.
But the talking point I heard the most on Sunday when I got to work was, well, you could tell it was a liberal because they don't own guns most of the time and they definitely can't shoot.
Yeah.
Because
well,
they were interviewing somebody on the Hannity was talking to J.D. Vance today, interviewing him at the Republican National Convention. I listened to him on my way home from work. And J.D. Vance, the vice presidential candidate, I guess he was a Marine. I don't know a lot about him. I just
I know he's in the service for sure.
Yeah, and they were talking to him. He's like, well, inside 150 yards should be well within the area of
The purview of the Secret Service.
right, and the fact that this guy was 130 yards away, and then missed, or obviously, Trump moved his head at the exact right time to just not die, which was a miracle in itself. But the fact of the matter is that this guy got off 5 or 6 shots. Trump should have been anybody that had a clue would have killed him. It's just crazy.
Yeah, and the more you look into it, the more bonkers it seems.
Like it is, like
We can get into
unbelievable.
it if you want.
It's unbelievable. We can get into it off air.
All right.
I would like to, because I haven't looked at it enough. I just recently saw the one photo that I guess Candace Owens showed that showed the actual bullet trail. That's just freaking eerie. Anyway, let's get back into this.
Thank God the right don't riot. Welcome to the home of the brave. Freedom ain't afraid of violence. You wish you was dying? Bitch, you missed. Thank God the left can't aim. Why can't we just shoot straight? Y'all are going insane. Bitch, you missed. There's no one else you can blame. Tried to lock him up in a cage. Now you trying to kill what you hate. Bitch, you missed. Told us trust the science, but it never made sense to me. Why would we put all our trust in the enemy? Millions of people are hooked on amphetamines. They're making billions on untested remedies. Borders are open to people with felonies. Biden can't stop them, he don't have the energy. Y'all wanna kill the man trying to fight for a better tomorrow by making him Kennedy? I tried to give y'all a chance, like maybe the left isn't nuts. I was wrong, cause y'all are exactly as crazy as every conservative person I know said you were all along. Wanna protest, go hard. Wanna burn flags, go off. But y'all are so triggered that you're pulling triggers at presidents. Y'all the terrorists when you're armed. Thank God the left can't aim. Thank God the right don't riot. Welcome to the home of the brave. Freedom.
I don't really have much to say because he's saying it all.
It's very intense.
I'm like, I've seen him get really not angry, but like really kind of focused, and he almost seems borderline angry.
Well, I mean, man, that was a hell of a shock.
I
And
mean,
it's difficult not to get angry and to control yourself. It's something that it needs to be done.
The
But I think a lack of self-control is what is the major problem.
yeah, oh yeah,
And it's the lack of self-control because self-control is taught.
yeah. If you think about it, the big talking point that everybody in the news is making and all the different political pundits is, let's say he had died. Let's say they shot him and killed him.
I don't know what that
I
would
watched
look like.
that Stephen A. Smith video. I've watched Rubin. I've watched Beck. I've watched Hannity. I've watched all these different people. I've even watched The View and their wacky little views and things. But I don't see how the entire country is in a complete chaos.
Yeah, it's
Like-
difficult to conceive of where it doesn't, but honestly, we don't know because so many people are just complacent and so
It's like what
distant from everything. I
it's
just
like
don't know.
it's like how far. They're gonna push enough and enough and enough where it's just gonna be all right. Our backs are against the wall, or you push us off a cliff, and either they're gonna be lemmings and go to their death, or they're gonna turn around and do something. And the reality is, I don't think they really want to push that many people to the edge of what would end up being a conflict.
It's interesting that you said lemmings because, from what I understand, that old adage or the old saying that, or the idea that lemmings jump to their death,
Yeah,
that's not true.
they just follow the leader, and it's just,
No, Disney. I believe it was Disney, or cameramen that worked for Disney, allegedly. The filmmakers ran him off the cliff, chased him off the cliff to get some footage.
that's horrible.
And that lemmings don't actually kill themselves. And you can look it up.
That's-
I heard it, and it seems to me, and that's where we're at. This
Wow.
this
Well-
area of unequal weights and measures, of lying, of not having any kind of a debate with any kind of honesty,
Well, it's like
or what they call it, a good faith debate.
it's like, regardless, like we said at the beginning, it doesn't matter what political view you have. Right now, the media for the last 8 years has basically said that Trump is Hitler.
Yes.
And he is going to take over America and going to rule forever and do all these heinous things, which the 4 years he was there, he never did. He, like every other politician and presidential candidate that has ever lost, has refuted certain parts
Yes.
of elections and had stuff. It just was hypersensitive because it was Trump.
Yeah.
But, like, look at Al Gore. He held up that election for a couple months before
Yeah.
when he got close to January. So it's not unheard of for people to question certain counts and want to look at things and be sure before conceding. I have no problem with that.
Yeah, I just think it's amazing.
But
The media is so fundamentally, so basically dishonest.
And when you look at, they're accusing a man that's not in power that he will do all of these things that the people in power are actually doing right now
projecting.
by weaponizing the federal police, the Department of Justice,
FBI.
and FBI, and using like the media and local district attorneys' offices to basically have political warfare against your opponent during an election.
Right.
When
That's what they accused. They accused Trump of that. They impeached the man.
I mean, I don't care what like we said, we don't care what your political view is.
Right.
But if you haven't looked into that New York trial enough and you don't understand that was a misdemeanor case at best that nobody wanted to touch, and it was that DA, when that DA got elected, said, I'm going to go and get Trump, and he turned one misdemeanor into what, 91 felonies?
Something like that, 46
which
or something.
Every lawyer and attorney I've looked at on both sides of the aisle has basically said, this is going to get totally thrown out as soon as it hits the appeals. There is no way this sticks. This is ridiculous. And the reality is, there are other people of power and money in the country that watched that particular event and said, if this stands and they can do that to him,
You could do it to anyone.
they could do it to all of us. And it's crazy. Anyway, let's finish this up. Did you have anything to add? I thought that was pretty
There's
interesting.
so much. There's a lot I want to add.
There's so we might have to just do a whole little podcast thing just talking about all this crap.
We should switch over to news.
Here we go, guys.
Freedom ain't afraid of violence. You wish you was dying? Bitch, you missed. Thank God the left can't aim. Why can't we just shoot straight? Y'all are going insane. Bitch, you missed. There's no one else you can blame. Tried to lock him up in a cage. Now you trying to kill what you hate. Bitch, you missed.
Wow. I mean, what can you say? I mean,
He's correct. They
Yeah.
did this.
yeah,
There's not one thing that he said that wasn't true.
not at all.
And I think what the interesting thing is that if people are so critically self-unaware, they're just unaware of how they are in relation to the world, but they're also unaware of how other people are, and so they can't even look at something rational. It's like when Trump ran at first, right? I was watching that debate, and I remember looking at people like Ted Cruz, and I was like, he seems, I'll just put it this way, he seems so fake like every politician. So of course, I didn't vote for Trump because I thought surely he's just another
first
grifter,
time?
another liar, right?
So the first one, it was like, there was so much stuff, and we're still recording, so there was so much stuff in the first election where there was no way I didn't want to vote for either of them for all kinds of reasons. And the issue with Trump was there was so many clips about when he was 10, 15 years earlier where he's like, well, if I ever ran, I'd run as a Republican because I could definitely fake all those people out. And I mean, I generally take people when they say stuff that mean it.
Yeah.
So I went
Except for
with the-
politicians.
Right, but he was not a politician.
Right, but I'm saying is that the point I was making is that even though he wasn't a politician, I still was like, surely he can't be.
And
He's
then-
going to be like the rest of them.
After watching how those 4 years went, I was like, damn, this man actually tried to do what he said he was going to do. And,
Right, and that
and
impressed
the
the hell out of
economy
me.
got a lot better.
Yeah, day one he was on the phone with Ford. It was like, wow, this guy's really doing it.
He's like, I'm eager if he wins the election to see if gas prices go back to at least $2 and maybe if we get some sense of sanity back into the American economy. That'd be amazing. Anyway, we're running long. Guys, thanks for being here. If you're new to the channel, consider hitting subscribe, comment below, let us know what else you want to see. And
Final words, take a deep breath and count to 10.
yeah, and remember, a buddy of mine says this on a lot of videos that he does on his YouTube channel. Be good to each other because we're all in this together. Violence is never the answer. Just because we have different opinions doesn't mean that there's anything wrong with us. We all are Americans and we all have
Be better.
we all need to be better. That's it. Anyway, we're gonna get out. Drake, Bone, 2 hoodies, 3 cats. We'll catch you on the next video.